Paul Babeu. I serve as Sheriff of Pinal County, Arizona. What we have at the Sycamore Canyon Academy, it's located in Oracle, and ever since we've had up to 50 juveniles from Central America. These were the ones that came into Texas, were then flown here and bused down to this academy. We've seen an uptick, significant uptick in calls to the Sheriff's Office, and we did a comparison of last year from the beginning of August up to October 10th, about 2.5 months, and there were 8 calls, none of which were calls involving violence last year. This year, the same exact time period, we have had 13 calls. 8 calls were connected to violent acts, and 5 of those calls were assaults on either teachers or other students. Clearly, there's an uptick in violent acts, but shown by the actual numbers of calls we've had here where deputies have actually had to respond out to the academy. This is a population that we haven't been able to assess. We have asked but have been denied the full history of these juveniles from Central America. We want to know if there's any criminal history or if there's any concern of gang affiliation. We don't have any of this information. And so I would let the actual calls speak to and answer the question of, is this directly connected to these juveniles from Central America? And I think a reasonable person would surmise that yes, it is. Well, in this case, we had a 13-year-old at the time, who's now 14-year-old from Colombia, that assaulted a staff member who was actually 74 years of age. He was a night watchman, and a different student had asked for an inhaler. The night watchman turned around to get the inhaler, and that's when this 14-year-old, now 14-year-old student took a sock that had 3 bars of soap at the bottom of the sock and wielded it almost like a bat and swung it and hit this 74-year-old man in the head and assaulting him, causing injury. Well, we've received numerous emails and calls from residents in Oracle wondering aloud, who are these kids? What is their history? Are some of them connected to gangs? Clearly, there's an uptick evidenced by the number of calls and the number of assaults, both on staff and other students. That something clearly is different there. I understand their concerns. I have the same concerns. And this is something we raised early on, is who is this population? And I've said from the very beginning, if we're going to be humane, probably the most humane response from our country and the federal government is to have these juveniles from Central America put on a plane and sent back to their country of origin and reunited with their family. That's probably the most humane act, because anybody who believes that these up to 90,000 unaccompanied juveniles from Central America are going anywhere, think again. That's likely not to happen with the Obama administration.